Hi friends, welcome back to another Tesla stock weekly analysis, and as always, I'll keep it short and let's start with the charts first. So as per what I said last week, the stock did stay flat, and I was mentioning for a while that the stock is going to stay flat for a little while because there's not much news and something to look forward to, and besides the market doesn't really know where to go. Having said that, I have a little bit of bad news this week. I'm just going to draw something for you to take note of, and I'll explain it. You see, in the stock market, we cannot expect every week to be green and very nice. You see, as the stock market goes, right, there is always a up down to it. And this is probably the only time I've seen Tesla has been like quiet for a long time. Okay, so this is something that I just drew for you. Maybe I'll change the colors so it's easier for you to understand. I'll take a purple line. So if you look at this pattern over here, how did I get these two purple lines here? Is what I did is I kind of like drew this line touching all the resistance point. The resistance point meaning to say where the stock hit and it came down, it hit and it came down. So for the last 2 weeks, there was this particular resistance point, and I just drew a straight line across. I also drew a straight line across all the supporting lines. Supporting lines meaning, see when the price goes up, it hits, price goes up and it hits. So as of the past 2 weeks, it kind of like formed this triangle. I call this a wedge up pattern. So what does a wedge up pattern generally means? It doesn't really mean good, okay? So what happens is usually when there's a wedge up pattern, the price is squeezing into a top, and I foresee that the price, a wedge up pattern, the chances of the stock coming down is actually on the higher side. That means more than 50%. So we may see the price like coming down a little bit, retracing back, and after that, it will continue its way upwards. But having said that, you need to understand as an investor that although I kind of feel, doesn't mean I'm right all the time, I kind of feel like the stock is going to come down next week. If it goes down and you have the extra cash, buy! I mean, as simple as it sounds. You see, the thing is, the biggest issue with, let's say if we sell now, and there's always a probability that the stock will go up. So if you sell now and the stock goes up, you're going to lose a lot of opportunity cost. So as a long-term investor, if you have the extra cash, add on rate days. If you do not have the extra cash, do nothing. Over the long term, if you invest in innovative companies like this, let me tell you, it's going to be super rewarding. And if you go and backtest all the way to the past, and I did this like multiple times, there is no way you can consistently add at the lowest point. So just hold the stock and you will do better over the long run. If you want to challenge what I say, what I want you to do is record this video, this date of recording, and I want you to review what I said 1 year or 2 years down the road and see who's right. You will understand what I'm trying to say where, long-term investors, we just buy and hold and let the company do its job. Every day there might be bad news, good news, but that doesn't waver us. So what I see is kind of like bouncing side and going down. So this has a higher chance. My higher chance means more than a 50% probability because of this wedge up pattern. It may retrace down. It will be a very healthy retracement for the next leg to push upwards because no stocks have a one-way up. It's always a zigzag. You see, there's no stocks that goes up one way. It goes up one way, it will still zigzag up, okay? I hope the charts have given you clarity on what to expect for the coming week. So before I move on to the news, I would really appreciate the early thumbs up. It helps a lot in the YouTube to push to more people, and thank you so much. This week is really going to be a very exciting week because I'm going to call this upcoming week Elon Musk week. Why? Two things going to happen. Number one, he's going to appear on CNBC and he will be showing off his Cybertruck. And I believe he's going to talk a little bit about the Roadster. There's some preview on some clips here. I think it's this clip here. You can click and watch. He basically talked about the Roadster, right? Having the SpaceX package, which I mentioned to you guys many times. And he actually gave a very big hint. So he talks about, let's say, so imagine this is the Roadster, right? And he says that the SpaceX package is going to be very unfair, where I think the number plate is going to open up at the back. The back number plate will open up, and suddenly, coal gas thrusters will just blast and shoot the car in front. So it's really going to be exciting. So this is one of the things he's covering about the Tesla Roadster. So I believe in the episode there's a lot of things he's going to review and it's going to be really exciting. The second thing which I'm really excited about is nothing to do with Tesla, but it has to do with Elon Musk. That's why I call this Elon Musk week. I had to squeeze it into my Tesla weekly analysis. So This week is going to be exciting because on May 27, astronauts were launched from US soil for the first time in 9 years. Think about it. The last time astronauts was launched from US soil was back in 2011, and after that, what they did is they retired the shuttle, and all the way they have been using like Russia's, they've been buying space on Russia's rockets to launch them into space. This is really exciting. I don't know how to explain how massive of an accomplishment that is, and when he does that, you know, Elon Musk is a brand himself, so that will actually affect Tesla quite a lot too. So more people will get to know about Tesla. And the thing is, you must understand this Crew Dragon launch, if it's successful, it will be effectively like the cheapest space flight ever to space, because you know each seat costs hundreds of $millions, and we know that SpaceX can reduce costs by reusing the rockets, and that drastically brings the cost down of space. So imagine a seat on a SpaceX Crew Dragon rocket may cost a few $1 million, and that is dirt cheap compared to what are they paying right now. So this week is going to be a really exciting week. I call this Elon Musk week. We see Crew Dragon launching, and CNBC where he will appear on Jay Leno's show. So I really can't wait for this too. So next on the news, there is more and more like hints coming here and there where Tesla will build their next Terra factory in Texas. This is going to be amazing because number one, it doesn't have as much tax as stupid California, and building cars there will be a lot cheaper, and the cost savings will go to individuals that like us buying their cars. Last week there were many discussions on two things on Tesla. Firstly, number one, if you look at Tesla's website, they launched this auto bidder. And the other thing is that a lot of people were talking about this thing called vehicle to grid. So let me explain a little bit about the auto bidder. There is a lot of write-up on it, but I will just summarize it very quickly. Auto bidder is essentially a software to control the storing and charging of energy. So it's simply put it, when you want to store energy, you want to store it when it's cheap, when it's expensive, you discharge. So you earn the difference. That is it. So I'm not really excited about this because I guess if you have that kind of technology, this should be in the first place. The next thing that a lot of people are talking about was the vehicle-to-grid technology that Tesla will be launching soon, I guess. The thing is, I am not very excited about this because, you know, J.B. Straubel, he did mention that it's not really an economically viable solution because of battery degradation. The next thing I want to cover is this article again, which I covered last week, and I'm going to cover this week again because I'm getting a lot of inquiries. I just want to, you know, anyway, so again, a lot of people ask me, why 64% drop of sales in China? The sales is dropping, oh no. Okay, I just want to tell you guys that the reason why it dropped because on 1st May, there's new subsidies from the Chinese government. So people, if you buy a car, you will save around 10%. That is why people were holding back them buying. So when it comes to May, when the May figures are released, I can almost assure you, I'm like 99% sure when the May sales come out, it's going to dominate China all over again. So next on the news, Tasmanian covered this really well. So Global VP Grace Tao, she mentioned that China will start mass production of Model Y by Q1 2021. So why is this very important? Because I want to go back to this report. I'll link it below too. You see, this is so mind-blowing. Most people just forget about this. You see, all the main competitors in terms of sedan, right? Model 3 has exceeded, just one car alone, exceeded all the main sedans competitor. And you see, Model Y is an SUV, so it's a crossover. And you look at this, all the main crossover competitors, they sell this amount of cars. This is a lot of cars, right? So can you imagine the potential of Model Y going here? So this is why I really believe there is like a 50% year-over-year growth on Tesla. Last year, there were a lot of tension between Tesla and Panasonic. There were a lot of articles on it. I tell you guys, don't worry about it. So anyway, Reuters now has kind of like answered a lot of those questions, and I want to share with you. Reuters still do investigative journalism, and that's why I feature a lot of articles from them, because they are still one really good source of news to go to. So anyway, Panasonic sees a strong demand from Tesla and in talks with Tesla to expand. Okay, when articles come out like that, it is going to happen. I don't know how to explain to you why, but I can tell you that it is going to happen. So anyway, I just want to scroll down and take a look at the... Yeah, you see, we are seeing strong demand from Tesla, and they are in talks to... Currently, they're doing like 35 gigawatts hours per year, and they are talking about expanding it. They are having discussions it right now. This is quite exciting. We will be working to improve our materials and technology throughout the financial year. So what does this sentence mean? It means it has to do a lot to do with Battery Investor Day, where Tesla and Panasonic will work together to increase the technology in the batteries and make it a lot more battery power density increase and probably make it faster. I'm not too sure what are the exact details, but a lot of this would be shown during Battery Investor Day. The final news I want to cover about is this on Clean Technica. As usual, I'll link it down below. Tesla, 29%, okay, as good as 30% of global electric market sales. So finally, the report is out. The source is from EV volumes, and I think it's a paid subscription. So anyway, Tesla, 30% of electric vehicles. That is amazing. So do note that Tesla achieved these numbers with supply constraint. I believe the percentage should be a lot higher as they cannot catch up with the orders coming in. I believe they will address these issues in the next few years. So what do I foresee in Q2? Okay, so with flu-19 like affecting the whole world, the thing is Tesla is an innovative company. So Tesla's global market share will grow further. You see, with all the other automakers sales dropping and all of them like reducing budget for R&D and expansion, I believe this gap will widen. I will see much more than 29% in Q2. I think the numbers will be out in August. It takes some time to get the numbers out, and I'm actually pretty certain it will happen. So anyway, concluding this video, Tesla stock is not going to move much. In fact, I think it may drop a little bit due to that wedge up pattern. However, there is nothing to be alarmed about. So anyway, it's going to be really an exciting week with CNBC's episode with Jay Leno and SpaceX Crew Dragon launch. I can't wait. So anyway, appreciate those who helped me with the thumbs up. You guys are really awesome. And as always, thank you for supporting this channel and invest safe.